Good day once again to everyone. So let us continue our discussion for this sa ating social studies. So we would be now discussing about the learning strategies for araling panlipunan subjects. So when you hear the word learning strategies, uh, ano po yung what are the words that you would be ano in connection with this? Ano yung mga nalalagay sa isip mo? So comment down below ha, para malaman nyo kung sino talaga yung nanood ng video so that I would know if napanood nyo ito. So please, so number one, comment down what is learning strategies para sure tayo. So let's discuss this one by one. So before that, according to Bunga et al. 2016, teaching ariling panipunan needs to prepare the teacher to face the differences of learners. It is important, tandaan na, it is important to familiarize with the teaching strategies and techniques to increase learners' understanding of the lesson and make the class interaction livelier. Kasi nga, aralin palipunan, as you could see in the past, is one of the what they what they so called the one of the most boring boring subjects, no, boring subject sa klase because wala ka naman talagang, some of us would not find it very interesting kasi yung pinag-uusapan natin dito is what? History. What happened in the past, basically events. We would be memorizing kung anong nangyari, bakit nangyari ito, yung mga dates, mostly dates, persons, and events. So that's why some people would find it very boring. So, as future educators of elementary, wala tayong magagawa kasi we are part of the Gen Ed, General Education. So, dapat pa-bright tayo sa lahat ng subjects. Hindi lamang kailangan matalino tayo sa English, Math, Filipino, pati na rin sa araling panlipunan. So, how would you make araling panlipunan a very lively subject? Not just lively, but very interesting. So, these are some of the approaches that you would be using. So, it should be what? Integrative. Kasi, mas maganda kasi siya because you could integrate araling panlipunan with ESP, edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. You would talk about values. And you could also integrate it with MAPE kasi ano yung mga kanta nung mga sinaunang panahon, mga sayaw, 'di ba? I-discuss yun sa lesson. So, the objective of this lesson for today is to let us know what are the different learning strategies na pwede nating i-apply for araling panlipunan. So, please remember that the success of instruction depends upon the utilization of different learning strategies and assessment technique. It is also important to inspire paano ba mag-inspire ng learners? How would you inspire your learners to learn araling panlipunan? Or question, if you would be the future teachers sa klase, ka-inspire ba kayo or hindi kayo ka-inspire? Pag pumasok ba yung estudyante niyo sa klase, gusto niya bang pumasok sa klase mo? Or pag pumasok siya sa klase mo, madidepress siya? Hopefully hindi, di ba? At least, sana man lang, pag pumasok yung mga estudyante niyo sa klase niyo, they would feel what? They would feel comfortable, they would feel inspired, and they would find beauty within araling panlipunan. And also, it would improve their attitudes and their moral values, attitudes towards people, attitudes towards different race, attitudes towards the action of different people. Kasi nga, sa araling palipunan, ah, natututuhan natin ang iba't ibang kultura ng iba't ibang tao sa iba't ibang panahon. Bakit bakit ganito yung gawi nila, bakit ganito yung pag-iisip nila. Kasi nga 'di ba, minsan kasi nga nandito na tayo sa kung ano pa, sa future tayo 'di ba? Minsan kasi napapaisip tayo, sinasabi natin na, "Bakit nila ginawa 'to? Sana ganito na lang, sana ganito na lang." But thinking, kung ikaw ba yung sa time kung ano pa, kung ikaw yung nasa panahon nila, gagawin mo ba yung ginawa nila? Or ang tanong, makakapag-isip ka pa ba ng iba pang solusyon despite of the circumstances? So yun, dapat isaalang-alang din natin yon. And what? Improve our moral values. Sa moral values kasi, hindi mo naman masasabi na ito siya tama, ito siya mali. 'Di ba? Moral values would always depend on the person. Kasi minsan sa akin tama ito, sa inyo pala mali, or minsan sa inyo tama, sa akin mali. So, iche-check natin ito siya sa araling panlipunan. So, number one, learning strategy is what we call the experiential learning. So, what is the experiential learning? It's a process which what the students with what develop knowledge, skills, and values. So, what kita nyo to from direct experience. From direct experience. It helps them to motivate learners to be involved deeply in the learning process. Learners are what? Engaged intellectually, emotionally, socially, and physically. Ibig sabihin ito, holistically, involve yung learner sa learning. And what? It produces the perception that learning is what? Authentic, totoo. Kasi nai-experience ng learner. So this is the diagram of ano, uh, what we call the experiential learning. So number one, we have the concrete experience. The students would try it out and see what happens. As future educators, hindi man lahat ng gagawin ay talaga namang ipa-fulfill mo. For example, you would just choose activities lang naman. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na yung lesson mo is digmaan, magkakaroon ka talaga ng digmaan, 'di ba? You could let them watch the video for them to become ano, parang experiential na rin siya. Kaya nga ano, 'di ba, experiential, na-i-experience pero not directly experiencing it. Next is reflect. After uh, doing the concrete experience, you would make your student what? Do the reflective observation. They would what? Analyze what they've experienced and view it from multiple perspective. Halimbawa, ano ba yung pinaka ano, pinaka-popular na palabas ngayon? Or let's do the ano, the ABS-CBN franchise. O 'di ba yung ABS-CBN franchise, nakikita natin what is happening. So meron na tayong concrete experience. Then let's do the reflective observation. Maraming tao ang ano, involved doon sa pangyayari sa ABS-CBN. So, kasi nga 'di ba, for example, some of you are very ano, sympathetic with ABS-CBN kasi nga kapamilya kayo. Masyado yung na-appreciate yung format ng ABS-CBN. So, naaawa kayo sa ABS-CBN. Pero, what if you think through other people's perspective? For example, sa perspective ng GMA. Ano kaya yung magiging perspective ng GMA kasi nawala na yung ABS-CBN. So malamang, matutuwa sila kasi wala ng ABS-CBN. Kung ano pa, wala na silang kalaban sa ratings, wala na rin silang kalaban sa mga programs, 'di ba? Kasi ABS-CBN now is nasa cable na lang. Wala na sila sa public channel, yung non-cable channel. So, next is sa perspective naman ng mga artista. So, how would you feel? Kasi na-close yung ABS-CBN. Mawawalan ka ng trabaho, walang projects, sa YouTube na lang. Or, if you would be in the part of the government, view mo? Kasi nga, sa government, di ba, ano yung view doon? Ang government is, hindi sila binabayaran ng tax ng ABS-CBN. And yung, mayroong, yung pay-per-view sa kay Pacquiao na fight, di ba? And yung ABS-CBN box, parang binayaran. So, what would be the perspective of the government? So, balik tayo. So, after that, magkakaroon na tayo ng ano, change of perspective because ang dami na nating i-weigh in. So next, formulate hypothesis, plan and action, and test it. So after that, check nyo, ano ba pwedeng gawin? What are the possible solutions? So based on sa reflective observation, if you were ABS-CBN, what would you do? If you were the artist of ABS-CBN, what would you do? If you are a GMA, what would you do? Then if you were the government, would you push the case against ABS-CBN? So yun yung mga possible or yung mga pwedeng gawin sa active experimentation. So for your second activity, please make an experiential learning diagram. So that would be number 2. Diagram lang po ha, yung parang drawing lang. Parang ganito lang rin siya. Then you post it here on Schoology. So next, this is what we call the think pair sharing. It is a strategy where learners pair up and discuss the topic by giving their own ideas to resolve issues. Mag-isip ka, pag-usapan niyo yung sagot, magchismisan kayo. Diba? Parang ganun lang rin yan siya. So, if there are some activities, ito siya maganda kasi it will be working with people collaboratively. Tama ba? You would collaborate with other people. Yun na lang, para mas madali. So, if there were ang activity nito is what? The teacher would provide questions. Mag-iisip kayo kung anong sasagot nyo. Then, you would be discussing it with someone or with your partner. or kung sino yung assigned sa'yo na groupings. Then after that, you share what you have discussed and ano yung natutunan nyo, ah, hindi lamang yung idea mo, pati yung idea ng buong group. So, isi-share niyo siya. So, that's think, pair, and share. So, 'di ba? Madali siya. This is ano naman 'to siya, very common strategy. Ginagamit ito siya sa classroom, dati pa man or hanggang ngayon ginagamit pa rin naman siya para bang ano, copy-copy lang. Kasi mag-isip ka, pag-usapan yung sagot niyo, after that parang padadamihin yung answer niyo, then ipe-present niyo siya sa whole class. So that's think, pair, share. Next, eto siya ang pinakamaganda. This is one of the ano ba, isa sa pinaka masayang strategy across any subjects because what? Role playing. It provides the learners opportunity to feel the situation to a given event or circumstances. Develops the feeling of understanding and empathy, which should possibly prepare them to become both what? Cognitive and affective. So for example, gagawa kayo ng isang play. So you will be assigning your students, ato siya ha. Maganda kasi sa role play is it would give ano, uh, chance for your student to shine. Kasi nga, they would be given different roles. And those roles is, ito yung mga gusto nilang roles. And it builds teamwork, it would build your students' personality. Kasi nga, they would be working together and mag-a-adjust talaga sila sa attitudes ng ng iba't iba nilang kagrupo. And wala naman sigurong estudyanteng gustong mag-fail, 'di ba? So that's why they would be doing their best and dito minsan lumalabas sino yung mga although some of your students would not be hindi sila magaling sa pen and paper test or in the usual memorization test. But some students are born artists. So dito lalabas talaga yung mga tinatawag nilang artistic flair ng estudyante natin. Next, this is ano naman ito for higher order thinking skill. What we call the visualization or imagination exercise. It is a mental technique that what learners use to imagine and visualize or create images. It arouses their mental and emotional being, given the chance they are what part of a particular event. So, for example, uh, sinabi mo sa estudyante mo, halimbawa, part ka ng ganito, noong time na yon ng Death March, ang mga tao ay pinaglakad ng napakahaba-haba, walang pagkain, walang tubig, at napakainit ng sikat ng araw. Doon sa Death March mula saan ba yun, Pampanga ata, hanggang sa ba papunta yung Death March? Basta pinaglakad ang mga tao that time. Kung ikaw nasa panahong yun, do you think would you survive the Death March? Or isa ka sa mga taong mamamatay na lang dahil mamamatay na lang sa gutom, sa pawis, sa sikat ng araw, at yung bangkay mo ay isasangtabi na lang. So, ipapa-imagine mo yun sa mga estudyante mo. So, what would you feel? Or, kung sasabihin nyo, if pasasalihin ka sa death march, ano naman yung parang encouragement mo sa sarili mo just for you to survive the death march? So, di ba? That would be what? Using your visualization and your imagination exercise. Or pwede rin na kung kayo si Lapu-Lapu, tama ba naging desisyon nyo na makipaglaban kay Magellan or sana ano na lang, tinanggap nyo na lang yung ano, yung mga Espanyol. Or doon naman sa ano, or yung question na mas maganda bang naging kolonya na lang tayo ng Amerika or Japan kaysa sa naging independent country tayo ng Pilipinas ngayon? So which is which? So 'di ba, napapaisip yung mga estudyante mo sa mga ganong klaseng mga activity. So, ato siya, here are some of the approaches, topics, and skills and values to be developed. So, paki-review na lang nito. So, thank you and mabuhay.